Hi there, this is Kat Kelly, and I'm inviting you to my new YouTube channel. It is called The Retirement Pivot, and it's dedicated to conversations and questioning and curiosity about what kinds of things can we be doing in retirement that make our retirement authentic to us and helpful and healthy and connected and all those things. So the reason I'm putting this together, I've been retired for 1 year, and I feel like there are some things it would have been nice to have known as I went into my retirement sort of phase. And so I'm looking to just kind of put this out there to maybe help other people who might be moving into like the 3 years before retirement, the actual retirement, or even people who are already retired and maybe need a reboot and maybe want to redo, how they're doing things. So the Retirement Pivot is a channel that will be focused on just healthy, positive retirement and how to get that for ourselves. And that might look different for me than it does for you, but it's about asking the questions and investigating the aspects of retirement that might, make it that time of life nicer for you. The why of the channel is because I've heard feedback from a lot of retirees, friends of mine, people I've read about, studies that I've looked at, where retirees are reporting feeling disconnected from their previous lives and from those around them, feeling a little lost, maybe a little distracted in their journey, lacking motivation, and I think more importantly, direction in their journey, their retirement journey, and just the need for community in general. There's so much research about as we age needing to be connected to other people, and so this hopefully will be a place where we can find connection, but also learn how to develop connection in our own lives. So the pivot, I named it the Retirement Pivot because I felt like as I was moving toward retirement, I did need to pivot my energy a little bit and think about my life a little bit differently. Still working, still doing my job well, but I needed to kind of shift my own gaze at my life. And so this is about all those pivots that we need to make as we move into and through retirement and start to see our own lives differently. Other people start to see us differently and all those kinds of things. So I have 5 goals for this channel, for the Retirement Pivot channel. First one is to reflect positivity and just to say, we're going to hit hurdles and, it can be a wall or it can be a speed bump, and let's try to turn them into speed bumps. To coordinate conversation and to, have some give and take in the comment section and answer things, do some FAQs maybe, and those kinds of things as I go along. To provide soft guidance. Obviously, what works for me in my retirement may or may not work for you in your retirement, but it might spark you to think about your retirement in a different way and have your own pivot. And so while I don't think I'm an expert, I have been through it and I have some things to share. I'm also wanting to be open to what other people are experiencing in their own retirements. Probably have some interviews, perhaps with other retirees from different fields. I'm a retired educator. I was an elementary school teacher for 37 years. And so there were some realities of that might be different than maybe an accountant, a train conductor or a nurse or those kinds of things. My 4th goal is to encourage engagement and curiosity. I think those 2 things can really pull us out of ourselves and help us to connect with others in important ways. And the 5th one is to learn from others and just be open to the lessons that other people have to share, even if they're not perfectly suited to our lives, but being able to find the pieces of them that might make sense for us. So those are my 5 goals for the Retirement Pivot. And as far as audience, because I've thought about who might see this, it might just be my mom and my sisters or my friends, and that's okay. But were I to reach a larger audience, it would hopefully be international, because really retirement, as we get to our older years, there are some worldwide similarities. Political differences, healthcare differences, those kinds of things, but internal to ourselves and how we feel about our time and the use of it, it might be similar for my friends in Wales or Australia or Canada or those different places as it is in America. So boomers and Gen Xers will probably be male and female, all across the gender spectrum, would probably be interested in, because we're all, hopefully all going to make it to retirement and have the opportunity to expand our own experience in that way. Part of the audience might be soon to be retired, like maybe 3 years before retirement, 2 years before retirement, starting to think about, oh God, what's that going to look like for me? And it's really good to visualize and think, oh, I don't want it to look that way, but I do want it to look that way, and how to make that happen. People retiring now, congratulations. It's awesome. And then newly retired, I retired a year ago. I'm still learning, I'm still figuring things out, I'm still putting pieces of my puzzle together for my retirement. People who retired a while ago but maybe want to reboot and want to think about it differently and want to, really personalize it in a way that they maybe didn't have the time to do it then. Or maybe they had family obligations that stopped them from focusing on what do I really want to do. So this is an opportunity for a reboot. And that would be the general, I can't imagine very young people would be interested in this. I mean, maybe they would, I don't know. But the goal would be to have helpful conversation that helps those people in the audience to just visualize their own retirement in a positive and helpful way. And so that's why I'm here, is to just, a little about me. I am single, no kids. So that's a different kind of retirement maybe than someone who's partnered and has kids. I have nieces and nephews, and I have, lots of friends' kids, and lots of people in my life. I was a school teacher for 37 years, elementary mostly. I did do a little bit of middle school. And I was a specialist. I specialized in teaching gifted children and running gifted programs. And my last 25 years were in a small school district on the North Shore of Long Island. I spent 30 years on Long Island teaching. My family has always, since I'm an adult, lived in Orlando. I did teach in Orlando for a number of years. I am back in Orlando as a retiree. And so that's kind of my journey. Was I went away for 30 years and then I came back for retirement. And I live with my sister, who's a teacher, an in-service teacher. She's still teaching. Both my sisters are still teachers in Orlando, and my sister-in-law, and my niece, actually. And so I have family around, and my home, where I am, was designed for retirement. I designed it for retirement. It is a home with an attached casita for my 83-year-old mother and my 86-year-old father, who live with us. So they're very independent, and that's why we built the casita. But part of my life is being a little bit of a caretaker in small ways at this point. Thankfully, we're very grateful. And I have a golden doodle named Buddy that you might see here and there. And I'll get more into my life. I volunteer. I am a member of the gig economy, so we're going to talk about how retirees can do something, a little part-time gig that you can do for pocket money, and I'll talk about that on one of the videos. But all of those things will be part of discussing just how to put your retirement puzzle together, how to pivot in ways that make sense for you, and just kind of thinking about things. So I look forward to that. My goal is to start next Monday. I'm going to upload a video, probably like a 10-minute video. I don't really know. And hopefully it'll get better over time. This is very new for me. But they did say, I've done some research and they're like, just put a video up. So this is the first very bad video. I'm so sorry. And I want to post on Mondays and Fridays. And so I'll have topics. I already have the first 10 topics sort of figured out or so far planned. I'll give you a preview. First one is 5 hidden struggles for newly retired people and what you can do about it. That's the first one. That'll be next Monday. So join me here, and hopefully I can figure all this out. And this is a challenge for me. I wanted to stretch, and I'm happy to be here on the Retirement Pivot with Kathleen Kelly.